Hello, students. Jordan, this one's specifically for you. But anyone else who wants to try this out, you're welcome to. So we started off with just the frame of this dirt bike here. This could work also for a normal bicycle or a normal motorcycle, or whatever design you're kind of wanting that's kind of bike-like. A couple important things here. We put the overall dimension here. This is just the chassis. And then we have a hole in the rear where we'll put an axle through to add the wheel later. And then over here, this is pretty important because we're going to make this bike actually be able to steer. So the width here needs to be the width of the piece of wood that we're using, that we're going to laser cut this out of. And then this needs to be the same or larger, right? So that this piece that we're going to make here in a moment will fit through there. So let's extrude this, and we're going to make that the same thickness that we do. That's the thickness of the wood here. And now we're going to sketch on this surface right here. And if I right click here, I can say view normal to this surface. So now I'm looking straight down on that kind of weird surface. And I'm going to put a circle around this. So notice I used a 3-point circle. So I did 3 clicks there, right? 3-point circle, that might be on the drop-down list there for you. And I clicked on those 3 points so that that was going right around that whole square. So we have a circle that goes around the square there. That circumscribes the square is the math word for that. From there, we are going to make a nice center line that will become a construction line there, so that we can do a little mirror imaging here in a moment. And then we are going to put, so just like on most motorcycles, there's down tubes. We're going to put some little attachments on out here. But let's start with kind of a triangle shape here. That's a little too far out. So I'm going to do something. I don't want that to be that. We're going to start that again. And we're going to go kind of, I didn't want the side to be too skinny here from here to here. So I was worried it was going to break. So we're going to do something like this, coming to there. All right. Some sort of shape there. And then we're going to add the same little line coming straight out the front here. And let's dimension this again. This should be same thickness that we always use, and make sure it's sticking out a good amount. And let's see what else. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we're going to mirror image this whole thing to the other side, and we're going to extrude it also so that it's going only the thickness of the wood again. We want it to go downwards. So now we have this little pivot so that we can rotate. And you know what? We're probably going to want this to come quite a bit higher here too. So let's come back here. We'll fix that later. Anyway, we're going to do another sketch on this surface, and I'm going to use this piece and that circle there. And again, that's the use button. I just traced that so I can extrude this one also to the same thickness. All right, and I want to flip the direction. So those are going to be exactly where they're going to go. Perfect placement there. And now we have kind of a steering column here in the front, and we can now start another new sketch on on this front surface. And again, we're going to use a couple of these. I'm clicking on these squares. And I'm going to say view normal to also again there. And then I'm going to hide everything because it's getting really messy here. So I'm going to make this whole thing one steering system here. And I'm going to make a nice center line like I like to do here so that I can only draw half of it. And I'm going to say I want the steering bars to kind of be up here. And I like some good looking steering wheel, handlebars, excuse me. And we'll go like so. And we'll do kind of here. And then we'll kind of start coming down here. And we'll do something like this. And I'm going to say in there. And eventually we're going to put a wheel in here, right? So we need to have a little bit of space for that. So I'm going to put this here, and we're going to dimension this in a second here, and I'll show you what that's going to look like. I guess I can make that one piece. I'm just going to make that one down there. Anyway, I'm just kind of playing with this and kind of getting the shape I like. But I made this one a flat piece, and we'll see why in a little bit. And I'll pull that back out now. Then I'm going to put a line here and up the center. And now I'm going to mirror that. I'm going to grab all those pieces, this and this and this. Oop, there we go. And now I'm going to do a 3-point arc to make a nice little piece here. That looks pretty good. Those are my handlebars and steerings all in one. And, ooh, I'm going to have to come back and tweak this actually. I'm kind of playing with this, right? Just like you guys, I'm kind of making things up as I go here a little bit, right? I'm going to run into some issues. I'm realizing, but we will be able to fix them. So let's try that out. Again, that's the thickness of the wood. And let's hide that for a second. And I'm going to bring all these other pieces back so you can see what they look like there. Look at that. That's fitting right on there. Obviously, that's not the greatest look. I'm going to have to play with these. I was kind of guessing on that. You're going to make yours a little bit better. Those are some big handlebars. This is like a big chopper. Anyway, now that will be able to rotate, and those pieces will slide right in there and can be glued together. And then our handlebars will go together there. What I'm going to have to change here is I'm going to have to put some sort of other mechanism to edit attach the front wheel to, because I can't really put a hole through the side here because the laser is cutting down from the top here. Anyway, feel free to go back and edit some things. There'll be another video for this soon, hopefully, and get you going. And you can always come back and say, all these pieces, I want to move all those down now. So you can say transform, slide and that down. Oopsies. And that's going to move things around. You can move these. Anyway, have some fun here. Some fun, cool little design going on here. It's starting to look better. Obviously, this is too long still. And you know what? I'm just going to pause this. All right, you can see I made a few changes here. First off, I played with the handlebars until I got a little cool design in there, but mainly made them shorter. How we're going to do the front wheel is we're going to just cut a little rectangular block that's going to go through there that you can glue on, and the wheel is going to fit right in there. So I did that by starting a new sketch. Sketch number 5 right there was on that inner surface there, like we've done in the past. And I made 2 wheels. Well, first I drew a square that fit right on here. And that was the same 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch that we always use. And extruded that in both directions there. And then this whole diameter is going to be, again, using the 3-point circle so that it fits around there. We'll slide over that square rod there. And then also you'll notice that I deleted the rear suspension here. I realized that was not going to work. That would put our wheel off to the side a little bit if we were trying to mount that. So we're going to have to do that with an extra layer here. So we are going to do that real quick as the final step of this. Starting a new sketch on this side surface. We can kind of make some fun shapes, something similar-ish if you want. It's really up to you. The second layer can kind of look similar to the first, but also different, so that you can kind of give it some depth and let's make it look fun. And we'll go to there maybe. Finish with a straight line. So that sounds fun. And then finally we'll go straight line. Let's put something down here first. And we'll connect that with a nice straight line up to here somewhere, like so. And another one here. And now we can extrude that. And we'll get rid of that center part. Ooh. We're going to have to go back there and fix that real fast. We want to use that circle so we can get that as part of our sketch. Let's try that extrude one more time in that piece. All right, and you know, I did that real quick, but you get the idea. Now we'll, oh, oops. We'll be able to have a nice side piece that goes onto our motorcycle there, and we'll be able to glue a little dowel in there. This diameter is 1/8 of an inch. I have some little sticks, some popsicle skewers, actually, not popsicle skewers, like skewers, for like meat skewers, that will glue in there that fit really nicely. Anyway, you can make another one that goes on the other side so that it kind of is symmetrical. And there we got a little motorcycle. Hope that gets you going. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.